Supergirl, issue 7, written by Steve Orlando and art by Matthias Bergara. Was that Bergara? Probably Bergara. It's a hard G. What's that hard G, Amy? So this was a follow-up to the Rebirth issue, where we bring back in Laron. Am I saying that right? Is that Laron, his name? Yeah.
Laron, yeah.
The Kryptonian werewolf that she sort of helped sort of fight down in the first issue and vowed to help. This was the issue where she tries to actually do that, and they try to figure out why he's changing on full moons, because there's actually no reason why he should be. So they do an Inception-esque kind of go into his brain. Supergirl goes into his mind and sees what's going on. So most of the issues inside his head, and we see him as a kid and his relationship with his father, and how his father thinks less of him and wants him to just learn his trade, but he dreams of the stars and he dreams of the moon, and we find out the reason why the moon has such a connection for him and why it's an emotional response is because the moons remind him of what he was denied of his dreams when he was growing up. Probably my favourite moment of the issue actually is Supergirl. Like at first she's just like a sort of silent observer, like no one can see her in the world, other than the wolves that start attacking her, because you know, in the head.
Subconscious defense.
Subconscious defense, exactly. But she eventually starts talking to the kid version of Laron, and I actually just love the image of them sitting on the ground and just like their kids like talking to each other. Yeah. But he's talking about how he wants to go to the two moons that they can see over Krypton, and she's like, "Well, they're there," and she just grabs him, and there's this great 2-page spread of her like taking him up, and that's actually when she wakes up. She wakes up out of the thing, but
yeah. This issue was not at all what I expected. And I mean that in a good way. I didn't read that much into it, but I thought, the werewolf's returning. Maybe it's a round 2, so to speak.
Yeah, you expected an action issue, and it was more of a psychological character thing.
Yeah, this is showing us why Supergirl is who she is. She wants to help. She wants to do good. She sticks to her promises, and you know the compassion that she has for this villain. I use that term loosely here, obviously, but seemingly a villain.
I think that's what made it interesting for me, and her. A lot of it was little Kryptonian touches and talking about Kryptonian history, and we hear a bit more of Kara's relatives that little Laron's heard of that were astronauts.
Yeah, I like that, and they disappeared. Oh no, they're dead now.
Feels like that could be a seed for something to come.
Yeah, they could pop up. I feel like that could pop up at some point.
Couple of arcs down the line, Orlando maybe setting himself up some stuff there.
You know, I'm just wondering here, if JLA doesn't get better, I wonder if it's a case of, it's kind of like Bendis, where he's not that great at teams, but when you give him a single character with a supporting cast, then you're flying a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I thought this was enjoyable. It was mostly inside the head. The Laron's head on this fake.
I think this is one of my favourite issues of Supergirl yet, honestly.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I might enjoyed the last one a bit more, but solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deeply sort of the emotion stuff. It gives us a little more about her character, a little more about him, but her more importantly, and what she'll do for people. And of course, after we conclude that section of the book, the last couple of pages, we see there's a memorial going up for all the people who were killed or hurt in the attack of the Cybermen on Central City, and we end with a tease at the end that leads us into what will be the post-reborn issue of Supergirl. Clark shows up, and notice that he is in complete silhouette, so you can't see what the new suit looks like.
Yeah.
Well, even though we know what it looks like.
It does, and I will say it does look like the boots have changed anyway, because the shadow is different on the boots than it is on the blue. It feels like they're going, hey, yeah, look.
But I like that they did this. This is a neat way of teasing it. Like, something's changed, but you don't. Even though we know what he looks like, we don't know why he's changed it. So it's kind of like a symbolic thing more than an actual hiding it from his thing. Yeah.
But I actually thought the art in this issue in general was fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it as well. It's a different artist, but I think it did a good job.
It still managed to keep the tone and it sold the emotion still.
We've been praising that a lot with Rebirth, that even when they change artists, most of the time it seems like they've been picking artists that complement the other artist that was already there, that continues the style.
Yeah, even if they're not the same style, they're tonally similar at least.
And obviously having the same colorist and stuff like that also helps to give it similar feelings. But
I had checked that it wasn't Chang. Or Chang, which one?
Yeah.
Who's been doing? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was good. It wasn't as expressive, but that was fine. It didn't get in the way.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. The facial expressions weren't as quite as emotive as I'd gotten
They
used to.
weren't quite as exaggerated, I think, is what
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
But it still looked great. Like I say, that double page spread looked great. Actually, just before Superman shows up, the page before, I actually loved the panel of Kara sitting on a cloud. She's just kind of up there being just with her thoughts.
Yeah, she's just kind of floating above it, isn't
Yeah,
she?
but it looks like she's sitting on a cloud, and that's a really great visual. So, no, that's good. I approve greatly this issue of Supergirl, and I'm excited to see what her first meeting with this Clark, who's actually going to be reborn Clark, whatever that ends up being.